A woman gets trapped by a lonely man but ends up forming a bond with him. What she doesn't know is that the motive for his crime goes far deeper than having a companion in his basement. At a bar, Arthur watches Lisa talking to her friend and follows her to the counter. Lisa knows he'd been watching her, so she warns that she's married. Confidently, Arthur doubts this. Shifting the topic, Lisa assumes he wants to have a decent partner, but the man notes that a woman like that is rare these days. Just then, Lisa's boyfriend arrives and scares Arthur off, so the latter leaves the bar. As soon as he's gone, the couple argue, with the man accusing her of flirting with Arthur. This escalates when he breaks the woman's phone. Thinking that she got Arthur's number, she tries to throw her drink at him in retaliation, but the man swats the glass away. Finally, Lisa walks out while another man pushes her boyfriend off to keep him from following her. As Lisa walks home, Arthur passes by her in his car. He offers her a ride and the woman accepts. During the drive, Lisa groans since she can't go home to her boyfriend's place and can't call a friend since he broke her phone. Arthur then notes that they're nearing his apartment, so he asks permission to stop by to pick up some clothes. Lisa playfully teases that he has ulterior motives, and when the man asks if she doesn't trust him, she points out that they just met. Still, the man heads to his house. As they reach the gates, an alarm beeps from his pocket, so Arthur explains that it's from the motion sensor of his security system. Finally, they arrive at his home and Lisa asks to use the bathroom. While she cleans up, Arthur prepares some drinks, though he adds something to one of the glasses. Meanwhile, Lisa hears echoes that sound like cries. When she joins Arthur, he offers her drinks while she shares that she heard crying earlier. The man just explains that it's the old pipes groaning. Suddenly, Lisa starts feeling weak, so she settles onto the couch and falls asleep. She wakes up in a basement room, so she starts banging on the door only for another woman from the next room to warn her that he'll punish her if she makes noise. The other woman introduces herself as Xenia and tells Lisa about the hole near their mattress. The hole allows them to communicate, so Xenia reveals that Lisa has been there for 2 days while she's been trapped for 4 months. She used to stay in Lisa's room, but she was moved to the next one after the other woman was taken away. Arthur told her that he just moved the other victim, though Xenia has her suspicions. This frightens Lisa, so she panics and screams at the door for help, unaware that Arthur can hear her from the bathroom. After she calms down, Xenia tells Lisa that she hid an iron pick inside the mattress to get the door in her room open, but she was moved before she could use it. Lisa quickly looks for the pick, and when she finds it, Xenia instructs her to use it to scramble the magnetic lock and pry the door open. Lisa does as she's told but can't force the door open. She then tries to open the peephole but stops when she hears movements outside. Knowing that it's their captor, she hides the pick before he can reach her room. He looks at her through the peephole but decides to visit Xenia instead. Lisa can only cry as she hears what Arthur does to the other woman. He visits her next and warns her that screaming for help is pointless since no one else lives in the area. Just then, his house's motion sensor beeps, alerting her and Arthur that someone just arrived. The man rushes out and checks his security cameras, seeing a man at his gate. His visitor honks his car to get his attention, which Lisa hears from her prison. The woman desperately yells for help, and to keep her quiet, the captor releases a gas into her room that makes her collapse back to the mattress. Once she's knocked out, Arthur attends to his visitors, Lieutenant Orlov and Major Chernik. They question him about his time at the bar 2 days ago. Arthur admits that he argued with someone there and went home. When asked about the lady he was talking to, he explains that she chose to stay with her angry boyfriend, so he left them. With this, the officers tell him that the woman, Lisa, is missing, and Arthur feigns ignorance. He suggests that she just didn't want to go back to her boyfriend, but the officers reveal that she's the third woman who'd gone missing in the last 6 months. Just then, Orlov notices his car outside and admires it, so Arthur allows him to check it out. While he does, Chernik questions Arthur further, starting with any weapons in the house. The man claims that he inherited hunting rifles from his father, which he only uses against wolves wandering nearby. The two men soon step outside just as Orlov takes a selfie with Arthur's car. As they drive away, Orlov reports to his partner that he didn't find anything in the car, not even a strand of hair. This makes them suspect that Arthur had it cleaned recently. Soon, Lisa wakes up and checks on Xenia. When the woman doesn't respond, she panics, scared that Xenia's dead. Refusing to suffer the same fate, Lisa retrieves the pick and attempts to escape again. She soon hears Arthur arriving, and unfortunately, the pick gets stuck in the doorway. Lisa abandons it and rushes back to the mattress. Arthur opens the door and thankfully the pick remains stuck. He checks on Lisa, who pretends to still be asleep before leaving. Once he's gone, Lisa checks the pick, though it's sunk further into the gap so she can't retrieve it. She resorts to finding another tool and ends up using a metal basin to pry the door open. To her surprise, it works. Quietly, the woman sneaks out of the room but accidentally locks the door behind her. She then checks on Xenia and can only cry upon seeing the other woman's fate. Lisa goes for the exit only to hear Arthur returning. With her room locked, she has no choice but to hide under the table where Xenia's corpse lies. Her captor returns to Xenia's room, and Lisa struggles to hold her cries as the man prepares the body to hide it. He ends up lifting the cover where Lisa's hiding, though he turns away, not noticing her. Knowing that he'll see her when he turns, Lisa takes the risk to go for the door, only for Arthur to see her through a mirror. Hurriedly, Lisa pushes the table against him, snatches the keys, and locks him inside. To ensure her escape, she checks on him through the peephole, only for the man to reveal that he has another set of keys. Quickly, Lisa pushes her copy into the keyhole to prevent him from using it through the other side. She then rushes out. Just as Lisa climbs out of the gate, Arthur dislodges the other key to set himself free. He then takes an ATV to chase after her into the woods. Seeing him close, Lisa runs to an unfinished bridge to force him to abandon his vehicle. Arthur chases her on foot as the woman retreats into an abandoned tunnel. However, Arthur sneaks up behind her and tases her, knocking her out. Lisa wakes up in Xenia's room tied to the bed. Her captor traces a scalpel on her face and asks how she got out, so the woman admits that she used the basin to disengage the magnetic locks. With a blade close to her face, Lisa promises that she won't do it again. Still, the man removes his belt and uses it against her as punishment. The next day, Lisa's boyfriend arrives at Arthur's home to confront him. He insists that the man knows more than what he told the police, but Arthur stresses that he never saw Lisa after he left the bar. The boyfriend threatens that he won't stop looking for his girlfriend since he loves her. But Arthur doubts this. He believes that loving someone means doing more for the person and never asking for anything in return. Love also means taking care of the person even when they're at their lowest. With this, he advises his guest to reflect on why Lisa left him instead of throwing accusations at strangers. This silences the man, so he leaves. That evening, Arthur treats Lisa to a dress and an extravagant dinner. Lisa asks if she is the first victim that he tried to romance, and Arthur explains that he only wants to have dinner with someone he likes. Disregarding this, he serves her wine and food as Lisa shares that she knew Xenia from school. Again, the man ignores her words and asks her what else they can talk about. Lisa holds a toast for love, so Arthur explains that everyone wants love but no one knows what it is. She challenges him on his views on love, and her captor explains that love rules the world. Lisa finds it hypocritical how he claims to be a romantic yet is holding women hostage. Arthur defends that love is why she's there. Lisa assumes that she's supposed to help him practice how to charm women since he hasn't been successful, but she backtracks when her captor looks offended by this. She instead wonders how he chose her, but Arthur refuses to discuss that. Dropping this, Lisa asks him to open the door to let some air in, and as he does, she hides the fork behind her. She then pretends to flirt with him, but before she can stab him, Arthur chokes her, noting that he can see what she's thinking in her eyes. As punishment, the man retrieves a set of chains. Outside, the officers drive close to Arthur's house to watch him. However, Orlov isn't convinced that Arthur is the perpetrator, given that all victims were somehow connected, thus it had to be someone connected to them as well. Chernik still suspects the man, so he urges his partner to at least scope the place out. The men scour the house's perimeter, unaware that Arthur is watching them from the cameras. After finding nothing, Chernik opts to climb the fence despite Orlov insisting that it's illegal. The major opts to do it alone, so his partner hoists him up the fence. Chernik sneaks towards the house only to get caught in a bear trap. Arthur goes to him, feigning concern and confusion to see the man. Having heard his partner's cries, Orlov also arrives and holds their suspect at gunpoint. Arthur reminds them that he mentioned wolves around his house, so he set traps for them. Orlov points out that he already has fences around his house, but Arthur deflects that they managed to go in, so others would be able to as well. With that, he helps free Chernik, who ends up having to be transported via an ambulance. After everyone's away, Arthur installs a heavier lock on Lisa's room while the woman starts to wake up, seeing herself in chains. Later that night, a woman named Tina visits Arthur. The two flirt, but the woman's husband suddenly calls her, so she excuses herself to the bathroom to talk to him. She lies to her husband that she's still working, her voice reaches Lisa in the basement, so the captive speaks to the woman through the pipes, warning her that Arthur kidnapped her. Suddenly, Arthur corners Tina, only for the woman to smile, asking if the victim downstairs is her new toy. She wants to see Lisa now, but Arthur notes that he wants some time alone with his lover first. However, Tina is excited to meet the new captive, so Arthur agrees. He takes her to the basement and the woman peeks into the peephole to see Lisa. As she watches his captive, she chuckles, noting that Lisa used to be the most attractive among her childhood friends. Tina laments that the woman changed, though it doesn't matter since she'll die soon. With that, the two leave Lisa and head upstairs. Arthur wonders why Tina wants to hurt her childhood friends, asking if she can let this one go. Tina refuses since she wants them to suffer like she did. Years ago, those women were her tormentors from school. They had fun scaring and hurting her, and even once used a liquor bottle to attack and humiliate her. As she recalls her traumatic days, Arthur comforts her. The woman points out that her tormentors never bothered to check in on her or apologize for their actions. They forgot about her, so now it's her turn to have fun with them. With her story out, she asks Arthur if he still feels sorry for Lisa. He doesn't answer, so Tina tells him to kill the woman to prove his loyalty to her. This makes him nervous since he's never killed before. He argues that this is Tina's revenge, and he'd already captured and kept them for her. This angers Tina, and he relents that she's disappointed in him. He declares that he truly loves her, even if she uses him like an object before returning to her husband. Tina reminds him that he once claimed that he'll do anything for her, but Arthur argues that he'd already done too much for her. Tina laughs, insisting that nothing is too much for someone they love. With that, she leaves. Arthur chases her, begging her not to leave. She fights him off, but the man pins her to the wall, scaring her. However, he decides that he'll kill Lisa for her. With that, Tina assures him that there are only 2 people left. Once they're done, she promises to leave her husband and kids so they can elope. After she goes home, Arthur drinks to shake off his nerves before going to Lisa. Upon seeing him with a knife, the woman begs for mercy, promising that she'll never try to ask for help anymore. Determined to stay alive, she removes her shirt, offering herself to him in exchange for her life. Finally, Arthur drops his knife and takes Lisa's offer. The two spend a passionate night together, though in the man's mind, he's still with Tina. After reaching their peaks, Lisa swears loyalty to him, appearing to have fallen for him. However, the man refuses her since she's not who he wants. The next morning, Arthur sneakily opens a tire valve on a car while Lena enjoys the lake. Because of this, her tire flattens when she drives away. Arthur pretends to be a passerby, advising her to move her car to a safer place to repair it. With that, he gives her his car keys while he drives her car carefully to the side of the road. While doing so, however, he throws her phone out. The man then takes her broken tire so they can have it repaired, but the woman notices her phone is missing. He claims not to have seen it, then urges her to get her tire fixed first. With no choice, Lena joins him in his car, thinking that he'll take her to the garage. While driving, she asks to borrow his phone to call her parents, but he claims to have left it at home. He offers to take her to his house since it's nearby, but she refuses, insisting to just go to the garage. When he insists that going to his house won't be any trouble, Lena suddenly declares that she needs to use the restroom, so she asks him to pull over. Before she can exit, however, the man tases her. Soon, Lisa hears the man taking his new captive to the other room. He then checks on her while holding a scalpel. This time, the woman doesn't beg, seemingly accepting her fate at his hands. Instead, however, the man unlocks her shackles, so Lisa kisses him gratefully. As she embraces him, however, she notices the key in his back pocket. When the man leaves her, Lisa produces the key and uses it to free herself, only to discover that it's not for her door. Arthur proceeds with his day normally, though he passes by Tina and her family at the supermarket. Seeing her happy with them sours his mood, and as he goes to put away his groceries in his trunk, he realizes that he hasn't discarded Lena's tire yet. Just then, Chernik approaches him to thank him for saving him from the bear trap. However, the officer notices the tire in the trunk, pointing out that it's not the right type for his car. Meanwhile, Lisa wakes up Lena, who weeps upon realizing what happened to her. She starts screaming for help despite Lisa discouraging her from it. Instead, she instructs her to check the hole between their wall and shows her the keys she got. She thinks the keys for her door, so Lisa instructs Lena to use it to escape. Elsewhere, Arthur goes to an open field to enjoy some peace before what he's supposed to do. He then returns home and takes his iPad, which he'd been using to receive instructions from Tina. With a heavy sigh, he deletes all its data and smiles, leaving no trace of the woman in his possession. Next, he approaches Lisa, and they both hear Lena unlocking the door from the other room. Despite the woman escaping, Arthur tells Lisa that he won't kill her, even promising that the police will soon rescue her. Seeing this as his way to say goodbye, Lisa asks why he took them, tearfully pointing out that he could have been a good husband to someone. Arthur admits that he just wanted someone to love him, and the woman promises that things can still change for them. She kisses him, suggesting that they run away together. However, the man refuses and leaves the woman crying. Soon, Orlov discovers Lena escaping from the man's house. Moments later, Arthur steps out of his house with a rifle to confront the police. As Lisa mourns in her prison, the man aims a gun at the authorities, forcing Orlov to shoot him dead. They soon rescue Lisa, who faints upon seeing Arthur's dead body. Days later, Lisa recovers at a hospital when Lena visits her, finally recognizing that the woman who saved her was her friend from high school. Their reunion's interrupted when a doctor walks in, reporting that Lisa is pregnant. Lena mourns that she conceived through an attack. However, Lisa smiles, deciding to keep Arthur's baby. Hearing this, the doctor promises to check back on her soon. The doctor then leaves and removes her mask, revealing herself as Tina, who's still bent on revenge. Since Arthur deleted all traces of her involvement with the kidnapping, she's free to do just that, especially now that Lisa is her patient.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.